It is Matt for AVNation.tv. We're here in sunny Orlando, Florida at InfoComm 2019. We are in the AtlasIED demo room with Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Good, buddy. How you doing today?
Good to see you, my friend. Good. Michael, what you're doing in the demo room this year is a little different than what you guys have done in the past.
Absolutely.
We're really seeing the journey of where AtlasIED can really play and help integrators. You walk in, you see a vignette of an airport, right. You move to the lobby bar behind us, right. The reception area behind us, and then you move into education. Yeah. Walk us through this journey of where Atlas fits in all of these different spaces.
Yeah, so you're right. I mean, typically in the audio demo rooms, we're just trying to crank something as loud as we can to show that how good we sound when we're loud. And part of our shift in focus is that we're really moving to being a solutions company, right? Mm-hmm. From our rack, our Texas Tough rack, which is here, all the way through the different applications. So we do start with an airport, right? We're in 200 plus of the airports around the world. So people come in and they're greeted and they see what they can actually do using an AtlasIED situation or a product in a transportation environment. Mm-hmm. Then they move into the hotel environment, right? But that's really just a corporate environment. And we're showing off our SHS, our background audio, showing how it's actually used. And here we actually have a teak wood type ceiling with a pretty complex pattern, and so we actually can show the SHS and the cover and how hard it is to see it, and the fact then that we still get really great quality audio, and then we move into education. And we're doing that for a couple of reasons. Number one, we know that 40+% of the attendees at the show last year were end users, and they don't really care about seeing the back of boxes and ins and outs and what kind of lights flash. They really want to go see what they can do with your product. Right? And the second thing is that we know a lot of our vendor partners out there, a lot of our reseller partners are trying to figure out how do I package this up, keep my labor and overhead costs down as much as possible, and go generate more revenue, and what are the environments that we can go do that in. And so our booth really focuses on these three environments plus healthcare. We're not showing healthcare in the demo room, but it's just a great opportunity for people to see it all put together, and then we can break it down into parts and pieces if they want to get into that as well.
Very good. Yeah. That's some really good points. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is you're trying to impart to people, obviously through the vignettes, all the different spaces you play, the way your technology, it's not a cookie cutter, just this goes from here, this goes from here, this goes from here. You don't necessarily see SHS in education or in an airport.
Sure.
How do you help integrators, and really how does this space help integrators who maybe only play in hospitality and commercial look at what you're offering from a partnership level and say, hey, you got these fully packaged solutions that help me get into higher ed or K-12. Right. How do you help maybe guide dealers down that path?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle. I'm not trying to be a politician and answer the question I want to answer, but candidly, mass notification is our real niche in education and healthcare, as an example, right? And when you walk around the show and you talk to AV dealers about mass notification, they tend to think about traditional bell and PA manufacturers, which often are proprietary or controlled by zip codes and various other things, and people kind of think if I'm not in that, I'm not in it. So we see this massive growth in this mass notification space coming out of security and IT space, right? Mm-hmm. But we're not seeing a lot of it come out of the AV dealers. So on a daily basis, right now, education season, we're getting daily orders for 6 figures coming out of key schools, and some hospitals around the country. But it's coming out of security and IT. And what's interesting to me is a 20-year veteran of the AV industry. I'm obviously kind of partial here, right?
A little bit.
And so our message has been, look, if you're looking for new ways to generate revenue, you kind of have two choices. You can go sell someplace you're not selling today, which means adding personnel, trying to compete with, all that. Or you can go back to the existing customer base you have and bring something you haven't brought before. Mm-hmm. And in this case, we really think, the latest study came out on mass notification. It says that today, mass notification market is a $5 billion a year annual market. But by 2022, it's going to grow to $12 billion.
Wow.
Right? And so that's a pretty significant chunk of money, and we're so well positioned with GlobalComm and with our IPX product line, and we're doing it in factories. I've got a factory right now running 36 different bell schedules a day, 36 different events, everything from time to take a break to time to work to shift changes to right? So the opportunities, the applications are massive. And what we really want partners to think about is, hey, could this be a new revenue generating opportunity for us with the customer base we already have? And we should go back and look at AtlasIED, because while, yeah, we make incredible ceiling speakers and we make some of the best mic stands in the industry, we're doing some different stuff today that is creating significant revenue opportunities. And I don't want to just see that growth. I love the security and IT side, they're doing a great job, but I want to see some of those AV guys that I've been with and worked with for 20 years jumping on that boat too.
What is it about the AV space that makes that transition sometimes so difficult? To not realize how to go back and say, hey, we've got this whole new line that fits your space. I think
it's two things. One, I think it's perception, right? And then the second, perception of the market or of the opportunity, right? Kind of paging. But the other thing I think is we're so inundated with new information. I mean, walk the show floor, right? So many new products, so many new ideas, so many new technologies. And you can take a company like AtlasIED for granted. I mean, we have dealers all the time who come in and say, look, I've been working with Atlas for 20, 30 years. But then they see what we're doing and they go, and I had no idea this is what you guys were doing. And that's, so I think we're so inundated with new and flashy and big, and it's impressive and it's incredible, right? The industry's grown so well. But sometimes you got to come back and revisit it, and the guys that have been there all along, and that's kind of why we use the theme modern classic, and that's kind of what we feel like. We're a classic brand, but we're introducing modern technologies that are cutting edge, and again, that can really make a difference to partners' revenue streams.
So let me ask you this: for that classic AV dealer, that classic integrator who knows you from doing ceiling speakers or whatever relationship they have, what is Atlas doing to help move them along in their journey once they discover your paging systems or your MPX stuff or all of those things? Where is it an educational side?
Yeah, so we have education for those partners, right? We do a lot of work. We do training and certification out of our Louisville facility. We do sound masking training and other things in Phoenix as well. But we've also got free design services. So when a partner's coming along and they're trying to put together their first projects, they can give our design team information. We'll do the design for them, walk them through it, and send them back everything, tie that into a quote, try to do everything we can to hold their hands all the way through the process. And there are even some professional services available where we can send people from our team out on site to help them with those first few jobs, right? Obviously our goal is to teach them to fish, right?
Of course.
But we've got the tools to help them along as we go. And we've got plans for a lot more tools as we go forward, as we see this expansion and growth. Because again, we want to enable them to make as many of those decisions and not have to wait on us, right? As our demand grows, our resources will increase, but inevitably it's faster to do it yourself than it is to call somebody else to do it for you.
But definitely viewing the value of the partnership between beyond just the vendor and a client, right?
Let's be clear. Look, we've been here for 70 plus years because of the quality of our partner relationships. Right. We owe this channel everything, and that's not missed on us at all. And so we absolutely want to do everything we can to pay that channel back. And I'll give you a simple example related to it, but when I was interviewing with John Ivey about coming over here and working, he said, my personal passion, my greatest personal passion is to do everything I can to reduce violence in schools, because we've made a lot of money in schools over the years, and I feel like we owe that back. Right, to find ways to do that. And that's giving our channel opportunities and avenues to go back into those school customers and continue to create a more secure and safe environment, which ultimately helps our personal goals, as a father, of making sure we're taking care of everybody and doing all that we can to keep people safe.
Very good. So if people want to find out more information on obviously the whole suite of products that Atlas has, but also some of those educational offerings, and of course how to get in touch, where do they do that?
Yeah, www.AtlasIED.com. There's a contact page on there. My entire team is listed. All of my sales reps, as well as rep firms, are out there, and you can reach out to any of us, and we'd love to help.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, Michael.
Thank you.
For more coverage from the show floor and to learn more about AVNation, please visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.